Get started.
Alrighty then.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Walker Report. Yes, you're looking at your counter going, wait a minute, this isn't Thursday. This is Tuesday night, guys. Special show this evening. There won't be a show on Thursday, and the 4th of July is on Friday. So we are part of NGSC Sports, guys. Remember the website. It's ngscsports.com. For all your current sports content, we are sponsored by biotropiclabs.com. Type in promo code TWR at checkout for 15% off a one-time purchase. Type in code TWRS for 20% off any subscription purchase, including one additional free supplement. So we will be joined later by Betty. She's watching the Commissioner's Cup. She said that she'd be on in a little while. Talk to us about the WNBA expansion. Let me go ahead, guys, real quick. I wanted to get to this last week. We didn't get an opportunity to do it. This is EA Sports college football video game, and they gave us a list of.
What is all that background noise, guys?
I'm not sure who that is.
It might be me because I have the Rays game on in the background.
The Rays game?
That's better.
Oh, that's from Florida.
So according to college football EA 26, here are the 25 toughest places to play college football. I'll go through all of them, and you tell me where you think, if you agree with the list. I'll start at the bottom. Davis Wade Stadium, that is home of Mississippi State. Spartan Stadium, home of Michigan State. Boone Pickett Stadium, home of Oklahoma State. Carter Finley Stadium is Notre Dame. Rice Eccles Stadium, home of Utah. Kinetic
Carter
Stadium,
Finley,
home of
that's
Iowa.
I think that's North Carolina
Husky Stadium
State.
of
Yeah.
the Washington. Jordan Hare Stadium is Auburn. William Bryce Stadium is South Carolina. Camp Randall is Wisconsin. Doak Campbell is Florida State. Derek K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium is Texas. Neyland Stadium is the Volunteers. Kyle Field is the Aggies. Michigan Stadium is the Wolverines. Goodston Stadium is Oregon, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium is the Sooners. Ben Hill Griffin is the Gators. Memorial Stadium is Clemson. Bryant-Denny Stadium is Alabama. Sanford Stadium is Georgia. Ohio Stadium is the home of the Buckeyes. Beaver Stadium is Penn State. And Tiger Stadium is LSU. So those are the ones that they ranked.
I'm sorry, what's so special about Penn State?
I guess the whiteout game. That's my only guess that it would be that one. I'm not. It's on there. It's on there. Beaver Stadium.
I don't know about Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, Michigan State. Michigan. I think Michigan is a tougher place to play than Michigan State.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
that's why they was ranked higher.
Exactly.
I'll say something. I feel like Virginia Tech should be on there.
Yeah.
I don't think so. What's their average home win? Is it 3-2 the last 20 years? You actually have to be a good team to be on the list.
Mississippi State hasn't been good recently. Why do they get on? Why are they able to be on the list?
I wouldn't put them there either.
Who made up this list anyway?
Well, so speaking that you bring up Virginia Tech, it says Boise State, Arkansas, and Virginia Tech, whose respective stadiums made last year's list, have all been kicked off the list for CBF 26. Good. Oklahoma State, NC State, and Washington has replaced them. Out of the three new teams on the list, Washington made the biggest jump, landing at 18. So this is a video game, by the way, too, guys. This is how the video game ranked these. So
go
Sure.
I was watching a video the other day of I don't know, I don't remember the analyst, but he was ranking his top 25 toughest places to play, and he put Tennessee number 1.
What?
Neyland Stadium.
Yeah, I'm like, no, absolutely not.
No.
I left a comment. I said, how do you have Ohio State outside your top 10?
Are you people nuts?
Well,
That's good old fashioned SEC bias for you, bud. That's what that is.
I was just about to say, is he an SEC bias or is he from the South? If he's from the South, he'll put Tennessee on that list and not Ohio State because he's from the South. Yeah, he could be
Ohio
SEC
State was on it, but they were outside the top 10.
So who did he have number 2?
It was Tennessee.
Oops.
I think it was Georgia or
Alabama
or Oregon was number 2.
Right.
Okay, I was gonna.
I'm like, how is Oregon a tough? Oregon doesn't seem like that tough of a place to play, honestly.
Well, they are a tough team.
Oh yeah, I think winning at home makes you.
Yeah.
Can we define? I guess it really depends on how we are defining tough place to play.
He had
too.
Clemson number 5.
Yeah, I think Clemson was on the high up on that list too. In the video,
I would say,
and people say Clemson has one of the best entrances. How? Running down a hill? How is that a?
Well, they I guess what it is it's they come down the hill after getting off the buses to come in. I guess that's the I mean, that's my only thought. I haven't been to.
I really think it's more. I think it's not really. There's no. I mean, there are certainly there are wrong answers. Like I wouldn't say playing at Akron would be all that difficult, but when trying to narrow it down to the top 25 and where you put them is super subjective. It's really based on feeling, and a team that, like, for Alec, a team that makes the list is Virginia Tech, and it misses my list. I mean, it's not like I don't think it's. I hope Alec knows it's nothing personal. I don't think he's an idiot or he's stupid. I just don't think playing Virginia Tech. Maybe 20, 30 years ago under oh God, what was his name?
Frank Beamer.
Help me. Thank you. Under Beamer ball. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I would definitely say playing at Vatech was super hard, but now it's not like somebody's trying to cram Marshall on the list. I can see why you can make a case for Virginia Tech. I can see Mississippi State making it, being the 25th.
Well, you know what? I take back what I said about Mississippi State. I have seen one of their games. They played Miami of Ohio in the Gasparilla. No. What was the bowl game that used to be in Tropicana Field before they moved it to Tampa?
It was
there the Gasparilla Bowl?
It was the St. Pete Bowl, but it was moved. It is the Gasparilla Bowl now. They moved it, and it's sponsored by different people every year. It's right around New Year's Day. It's usually
well, no, I was saying that because I went when it was Miami, Ohio, Mississippi State, and I will never go to another Mississippi State game. Those cowbells should be illegal. They're the most annoying thing to listen to for an entire game, especially in person. I thought it was bad listening to them through a TV. It's twice as worse in person.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the list.
I'm sorry, bud?
Where was Texas A&M?
A&M was near in the middle. Kyle
So
Field,
like 15, 16.
something like that.
Yeah,
I need to get out to an A&M game and see what it's
see all the
what it's
hoopla.
yeah, see what it's like, the 12th man.
Yeah.
I've
that
seen
would be fun.
videos. I've seen that it looks crazy, but
Yeah,
you never know until you see it in person.
right.
That's like when I was in college, I went to school in Jacksonville, and Florida Georgia always played at where the Jaguars played. And every
Right.
year, my friends had extra tickets to the Florida Georgia game.
Uh-huh.
And every time it came up, they're like, "Alec, you want a ticket?" I'm like, "I got something else. I've already got prior
Commitments.
prior accommodations that have to be done, and I feel horrible now that I never went."
Yeah.
Because that's one of there's like 3 or 4 rivalry games I want to go to that are
Yes.
on my bucket list. Florida Georgia's one, Ohio State, Michigan, but tickets for Ohio State, Michigan are always just god awfully expensive. But that's how it is for most rivalry games. Like Georgia Tech last year, I bet you those tickets weren't cheap. And those people sat through 8 overtimes.
Yeah.
Well, the Georgia Florida, this is the last year, and it's going to more neutral sites because the team's getting a redo for the Jaguars. So
it's
renovations.
Yeah, in 2026, the game will be in the Mercedes-Benz where the Falcons play.
Oh, lovely. That's technically a home game for Georgia then.
And then the 2027 is at Raymond James down here in Tampa. So
I might try to go. Oh wait, no, I can't go. Yeah, maybe I can go 2026 because I'll probably be in Tennessee by then. And
let me ask you, where in Tennessee are you going to be?
Greenville.
I don't know where that is.
It's down by like. Do you know where Pigeon Forge or Seaverville is?
Sevierville.
It's like an hour away from both of those.
Is it? It's an hour north, isn't it?
Yes.
So you're about 5 hours from Atlanta.
Yeah. So not too bad driving wise. If I wanted to try to go to the Florida Georgia game,
I drive to Atlanta all the time, and oh shit, my door is locked. I didn't even realize I locked the door. Thank God. I didn't lock my keys inside.
You got the key.
No, I have the key. Thank God.
Okay.
He's going through. He's trying to get his air conditioning working again. I hope the hell he's not locked outside because that would suck.
I had my keys on me, so I didn't even realize I had locked. I usually don't lock the door because we don't have any issues with people trying to break into houses around here. So I usually don't lock the door unless I'm done for the night. And I must have hit the lock on my way out. Oh. There we go. I'm inside. Well, I'm back outside, but I am inside. I am both. I am neither. So, you want to talk about the fight Saturday night?
I missed it, but I heard it was a doozy.
So I guess he's now ranked as far as boxing goes.
He is officially a WBA ranked cruiserweight, or is it cruiserweight? Is that what I saw?
Jake Paul.
Yeah, he's officially made he's on the list. Is it cruiserweight or is he's not welterweight, is he?
No, it's cruiserweight. I'm pretty sure it's cruiser. He'd probably be better dropping down to.
And
Flint.
yeah, after the fight, he was calling out Tommy Ferry. He was calling out
Cruiserweight. He's a cruiserweight. Yep.
Right.
after the fight. He was calling out Tommy Ferry, and a bunch of other people.
Yep. As one does.
Well, and I found it quite comical when he was calling out Tommy Ferry. He's like, Tommy Ferry, you need to stop ducking me.
Right.
Tommy Ferry's not ducking him. Tommy Ferry's not allowed in the United States.
Why is it Tommy Fury? Well, they don't have to fight in the States. They can fight somewhere else.
Right.
They can fight in Saudi Arabia. What did Fury do, though? I never heard that.
And I think he also called out Canelo.
Yeah, they've been trading farms for a little while now.
I hope everybody knows all these fights he does. They're rigged.
No, they're not.
No.
He's ranked 14th in the weight class. That's where he comes in at, number 14.
Out of how many?
It just says this is TMZ, guys. So I'm reading this off their website. It says, love him or hate him, Jake Paul is one of the best fighters alive. At least that's what one boxing organization is saying, with El Gallo earning a 14th rank in his weight class after beating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So that's who. Not all that surprising, says WBA president Gilberto Mendoza said before prior. So yeah, he's on that list. The current belt holder is Gilberto Ramirez, who holds a 47-1 record with 30 knockouts. That's who the current champion is.
Yeah.
You know, I think with him, just like with Logan, it comes down to everybody. They know that everybody hates them, and they're going to continue to do what they're doing until somebody shuts them up. That's what they're going to do.
Good.
And they don't need the money. They make a shit ton off of their YouTube channel and any.
Well, and then Logan also makes a crap ton off of WWE.
Yeah, any sponsorships that they have.
Yeah, and they make all kinds. They make all kinds of money.
They own Prime Drinks, right? That's who they manufacture that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, they own.
So I mean, if he's ranked 14th, now it's going to come down to fighting guys in his weight class and his level. So we'll see how well he does with that. We'll see how We'll see how he does.
And we'll see how legitimate he really is.
Yes, correct. That is correct.
Yeah. Strike there.
So yeah, it'll be. I mean, it's not surprising. I think that's what he was trying to do to begin with. Is he was trying to get ranked in boxing so that he could have.
Yep.
I think he was trying to get legitimate opponents that he could, and really
now
he doesn't. I mean, he's not that bad of a boxer if you watch his matches.
Yep. He's a halfway decent fighter. He's not.
Yeah.
He looks like. I watched the fight. Well, I watched the fight Saturday night, and he looked like a guy that had 12 fights under his belt. He looked like, he didn't have a long, storied amateur career. He went right. He had 4 amateur fights and went right into professional boxing. So he isn't going to look like a guy that spent 10 years in the amateurs polishing up. He's going to look like a guy that's a 12 fight haver.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bad.
It looks like, guys,
not sure.
Betty is on if she wants to come on and talk about the WNBA. The floor is
Sounds
yours.
good.
Defenders could not immediately find that.
Can you hear me?
That's right.
Yeah, Betty, we can hear you.
I'm glad somebody can. WNBA.
Can't.
Well, right now I'm watching the
Really?
commission.
You hate to see him run out of the midfield.
The league got three more.
They're probably going to get shut down at some point, but
Oh my gosh, expansion teams. Cleveland is one of them. And I'm really
Interesting.
ecstatic with that. I'm hoping to be able to cover it. Hopefully to be able to be alive to cover it in 2028. And I'm no young chicken. Philadelphia,
Bell's last start. I wonder how hard it was.
2030, and I think Detroit is 2029. A lot going on with the franchise.
Yeah.
9 strikeouts, 97 pitches.
That's cool. I mean, I did happen to see that the other day. So how many teams now will that make with the three additions?
Once we got enough 18.
18. So is that 9 in the East, 9 in the West? Is that how they're going to do it?
No, they're just.
Still unsure what we just saw.
Well, Cleveland. I've known Cleveland's been opening the bid for a while, about 6-7 months.
Strikeout number 7.
But they didn't announce it until like today for sure.
But anyway,
People were disappointed. Some were that they're not forming any teams in the South. But I'm sure it'll come.
You've got yourself set up for an opportunity.
Well, I can legitimately say that I live in Tampa, Florida, and we're not a basketball town, so I don't expect the team to be down here. Orlando, maybe Miami. I don't know. I mean, they already have NBA teams in both those cities, so I don't know if they want to have a WNBA team in the same city or not.
Well, then you have a down there in Florida also.
Yeah, I did hear something about it from one of the players. I mean, they said that these 3 expansion cities coming in 2028 through 2030, is that they're like, well, they're not the kind of places that they would want their players to play in. I find it insulting. I was reading that from actually one of the Beaver teammates. I was reading this morning, and she said that those are not my choices to play. And she was thinking somewhere else. So here's what it said.
I know.
Yeah, from Sophie Cunningham.
Okay, yeah, and then you heard what Caitlin Clark said, right?
That part I didn't get. I only got what Sophie said.
She's hoping. I believe she'll come to Cleveland.
Ooh.
Really?
That'd be interesting.
Well, yes. I believe LeBron James will come back and retire his number too. We'll see about that.
Well, I was gonna say, Betty, you and Lou are big NBA people. I read an article or a rumor that now again, this is hypothetical, and this is what I just read online, that the Lakers are going to trade him to Cleveland. I don't know what they're going to get back in return, but I'm just letting you know that was a article that I read that is ESPN too. This isn't like, just some off-the-wall sports website. This is ESPN that said LA trade LeBron to Cleveland. That's what I read.
I read the same thing this morning.
Early start time tomorrow, and here's what's coming up on Rays Live, the pregame.
But I do know the Cavaliers. Yeah, breaking news this afternoon.
Here from
they're signing their
We'll be breaking down Jacob Wilson, an outstanding
welcome home.
talent. And on Rays Live, the pregame.
Well, and then
They just run the tape.
didn't what's his name leave Indiana to go to Milwaukee today?
Having a great season.
Yes, Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
But then Giannis is upset that they're going to let Dame walk, or they release him, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Okay.
So Giannis, I don't know how much more Giannis is going to be in Milwaukee.
I'll do it. I know another.
Giannis to the Spurs.
Ooh. Yeah.
Wembiana?
Or the Rockets.
I go the Rockets.
Or the Cavaliers. No, it's the season. That's not happening.
Well,
Wait, is
or
Brandon on
or the
that
Magic. I don't.
I don't know about that. That would be cool if he did.
I
come
mean, I was saying the same thing about Desmond Bain the whole season. I'm like, there's no way the
yeah.
Magic trade for him, and then all of a sudden, a week and a half ago, they traded for him,
Right.
and they gave up basically, in my opinion, they gave up basically nothing for Desmond Bain.
Nothing.
I mean, Cole Anthony, backup point guard, couple draft picks, and one other role player for Desmond Bain. They needed shooting.
Yes.
I could see them making a run for Giannis, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
Stranger things have happened.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, they have.
Well, I have to ask, Betty, because I know you're a diehard Cleveland Browns fan. What do you see them doing?
I am not.
No, she's Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh,
Is she? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My fault.
Steelers.
Cleveland Browns.
Never.
Thank you, Lou.
Well, okay, so Pittsburgh, you got Aaron Rodgers. I got to ask you. I got to ask.
Well, Aaron Rodgers, and they just traded for Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, they let Fitzpatrick, Mika go to Miami. Yeah. I don't know how Aaron's going to do with Mike Tomlin because he's a no bullshit coach.
Right. Exactly.
Well, you see, they're still going to Tomlin their way to 10 wins.
Yeah. Yep. Man, that's not a losing season as a head coach. That's amazing. Amazing to say that.
No, that's Cleveland for you. Now leave that alone.
That's why it's called Mistake by the Lake. Yeah.
There you go. Can't disagree with that either, but hey. There's been worse teams. I don't know what, but you know.
If you want a bad team, you should have seen the Giants last year. Oh boy. Wow.
Yeah, I was watching, yeah.
Or the Jets.
Well, the Jets are used to that, but the Giants had their worst season in franchise history last year. So, I mean, come on. At least the Jets did a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
Big Blue was their own wrecking crew because they got wrecked.
Well, and they play in a tough division because Philadelphia, Dallas, Philadelphia and Washington are good. Washington's on the rise. Philly's the team in that division that is they're the dominant team.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is.
And then Dallas is Dallas until they get rid of Jerry.
Yeah.
They're not.
Dallas
Good
is
luck with that one, Bob.
They're just going to Cowboys their way to the playoffs and then choke in the wild card.
Do you see them getting to the playoffs? The Cowboys?
I mean, they did add another wide receiver.
Maybe a wild card spot, but that's about it.
They're not getting out of the wild card.
No.
I would put money on that.
Let's just.
Either you got to bring in Jimmy Johnson or the ghost of Tom Landry for this to happen.
or just get rid of Jerry and hire Deion Sanders.
Yeah. That'd be the
better.
If that all depends on how Deion does at Colorado this year.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Without Travis, without Shiloh,
without Shadur.
Yeah, without either of those.
Who's
honestly,
already in trouble for speeding.
Honestly, I hope that Shiloh makes it in the Bucks. I really do. I hope he makes
I do
it.
too.
Hope he as a backup safety to help out Antoine Winfield Jr. and that safety core. I hope he
he's a complete 180 of his brother.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of Cleveland, he's Shador's in that quarterback room with 5 other guys. So
Well, 4 because I'm not. Deshaun Watson's going to be out the entire season.
God.
Mm,
I'm sorry. Whoops.
yeah.
He was a mistake. He was a mistake. I mean, but he wasn't fit for our team. I leave it like that. Now, the words I really want to say are bleep, 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 and bleep, bleep. You know.
Eddie, you
Yeah.
you can swear on this show if you want to do it. Say it. I'm not against it. So
Cleveland fucked up when they put Deshaun Watson,
Oh yeah.
the trade, knowing what he had done. Supposedly was accused. Pardon me, accused. Excuse me. Welcome to Cleveland and the screw ups.
Well, it wasn't the first time that they've either drafted or signed a quarterback that's messed up. Just look back at Johnny Football.
I knew you were going to say that. I remember I met him actually. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel. What a bust.
Yeah,
I would say yes, he's a bust, but Jamarcus Russell's even worse.
Yeah, but but I'm thinking of all the hype that was surrounding Manziel in college. One of the highest. He's going to be the next best thing since sliced bread, which he wasn't.
Well,
and look what happened.
Well, unfortunately, Johnny Manziel, like a lot of guys that make the NFL, so many guys hit it big and just don't know how to handle it.
Well,
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. Well, remember, he who plays like a turd, acts like a turd, and walks like a turd is probably a turd. So there you go.
Well, the one bright thing of Manziel playing at A&M was Mike Evans.
Yeah, thank you for Mike Evans.
Yeah, thank you. The Buccaneers, thank you so much for doing that for us, Johnny.
Well, and then Johnny tried to play in like the CFL.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the pressure and the thing about being a big-time college football player is that unfortunately for when you're a guy like Johnny Manziel, you don't have to work at football. Yeah. And growing up, he never had to work at football. He was just so naturally gifted, so naturally talented. He never had to work at football. And that you can get by in college doing that. You can get by in high school doing that. You Pop Warner, you can just out athleticism everybody. But once you get to the big time, everybody is a freak athlete. And it really comes down to your willingness to work. And if you won't work, you won't play.
Right.
There's 100 other guys who are just as talented as you, put in the work. Okay, that's
you're not putting the work,
Well, especially the quarterback position.
Oh,
you're the main guy. You're the main draw. So
when you're the man, you got to be the man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. You're the man.
That's funny.
Because again, like you guys were just saying, there have been great quarterbacks, and then there have been, guys who.
There have been
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
So then let's see. Where does it?
Yeah, I mean Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill was serviceable. He was.
Well, yeah, but then he changed from a quarterback to a wide receiver.
Ryan Tannehill.
Do you blame him, or do you say the offensive line was bad in Tennessee?
Well, no, he originally was drafted by the Dolphins.
When did Ryan Tannehill ever play wide receiver?
I might be thinking of when he was at Texas A&M.
I was thinking maybe you're thinking of Taysom Hill.
No, Tannehill was a wide receiver in college, and then he moved to quarterback.
That's right, because he was He was in
Just
Miami, and then he was
okay.
traded. Or did he go there as a free
Yeah, he
agent?
was. I think he was traded to Tennessee and had a couple of good years under Mike Vrabel. Sweet. Okay, so that's installed. Sorry, it's so hot up here. I am doing this as we're talking.
Well, yeah, and then Tannehill just never had an offensive line in Miami.
I mean, he didn't have a lot of things. No, a lot of people didn't have a lot of things in Miami.
Well, you could say the same thing about Tua.
Yeah,
Tua's one concussion away from having to retire.
exactly.
Sad
And
story.
I'm sorry, I
That's
just
the
don't
problem.
get the delusion that Dolphins fans have that every year they think they're gonna win the division, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. They're gonna
Well,
do
you
better
know,
than the Bills.
I don't. If you're not delusional, you're not a fan.
Oh
I will
no, when
never.
I say
I will.
delusional, I don't mean just your typical. They're like, oh,
I
and every time there's a free agent, they want them to sign or trade for them. And same with Heat fans.
Yes.
Like Heat fans are just like they want them to trade for Giannis. You don't
Right.
have the capital to trade for Giannis.
Well,
no. I mean,
I was going to
even
say that's every fan base. They want all the big free agents. So
Exactly.
we all want them.
I mean, as a Lightning fan, I would love Connor McDavid, but I know it's not
right.
going to happen.
You're not going to be
Yes,
able.
you're
You
right,
would have
man.
to give up everything you have to get him.
Yep.
Yep, and I'm not willing to do that because that would mean Braden Point.
Yep.
That would mean
And
the rest of our draft picks, whatever we have left, because we always trade first round picks.
which in the NHL I'm not opposed to.
No, but I mean, if you're contending every year,
Yeah.
then
Yeah, if I have 20th, if I have 15 through 20, 29, then I'm those are up for sale because once you get out of the top three, you're looking everyone is 2 to 5 years away. You know, anybody who
I
was
mean, look
anybody,
at the Bruins this year. They took a kid that's maybe a year or two away.
he's going back to college. He's not going to play in the NHL this year.
No. And look at all these
and
kids that are in juniors that are choosing to come
to go back to juniors.
No, they're choosing to take a lot of money and come and play over here in the States and play for big college programs.
College hockey is cool.
Like
College
Gavin
great.
McKenna, who's in next year's draft, is, I believe, going to either Michigan State or Wisconsin instead of going back to juniors.
I might have to put it in this window because I don't know what's going to fit.
And
who won the national championship in college this past year in hockey? Does anybody know?
I forget. Offhand. Oh, Western Michigan.
Yes.
Michigan, okay. The Broncos.
Yep.
Okay.
It's their first title.
And I think in program history.
Yep. It's their first title in program history of any kind.
Well, yeah, obviously we know they'll never win a national championship in football.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
34-7-1 they were last year. This is in hockey. College hockey, they were 34-7-1, and they beat Boston University to win the national championship.
And that's where James Higgins went.
That's right.
And he's probably going back there for at least one more year. Even though he was a top 10 pick in the draft.
So I have to laugh. When I wrote 1 year college hockey to try to get credentials to the Frozen Four in Tampa. And I said going in that Quinnipiac would win the national championship, and they did. Minnesota in overtime. But I had them the whole year. I started writing about mid-season. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I just have a funny feeling, and they won a national championship. So
it's always fun when you get one right, even if it's the sport you
yeah,
really don't.
exactly. But yeah, I'm not always right. But yeah, it was nice to be right for once. It was nice to be right for one time. But I mean, yeah. Well, I was speaking of that. I was on, and Lou was there. I was on the Batters Up podcast last week,
Yep.
and my partner John Doucette, who's on the website with me, he mentioned that the college baseball is going from 40 players to 36 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're shrinking their rosters, which will probably now push some of these kids to what you would call smaller schools.
Yeah.
It will then help the smaller programs like
Right.
USF
Okay.
and UNF, Allen Mater. It'll help teams like that get some of these kids to come down and play baseball. So
any small school, not just USF, not just UNF.
Yeah, any small school.
Rhode Island.
Yeah, any of them.
Providence College, if they have baseball.
Well, and then I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Wichita State, they don't have a football team.
No, they don't. They haven't had football since the 80s.
Yeah, their football program went away, but they have a baseball team and they have a basketball team, and they play in the American because Wichita State's in the American now.
Right.
I don't know the furthest American team being in Kansas, so, but yeah.
See, and that's where realignment would make sense. Is you put them in a conference that's a lot closer to Kansas, like the Big 12.
Are they not? Well, the Big 12 doesn't want it, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you don't, well, I don't know. They do pretty well in basketball as far as drawing fans for basketball. I don't know about their baseball team's okay. I got to see them play, but
they also have softball. I've seen their softball team play. Their softball team's pretty decent.
Pretty all right.
Yeah.
Did Betty leave?
No, she's muted.
I'm here, just listening to y'all.
She's here.
I hadn't heard her in a while, and I was wondering if she had decided to take
I'm always quiet. Don't worry. No, I'm watching the Commissioner's Cup at the same time.
Yeah, so am I.
What's that?
WNBA.
That's
okay.
That's an in-season term. That's an in-season term like the NBA Cup that they're doing in December. This is like their version.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I got you.
Who's playing right now?
27-25, Minnesota.
Is Minnesota the top team?
Yes.
Yes, they are, and they're playing Indiana Fever, but Caitlin is out for this game with another injury. I'm a little concerned about Kate right now. She just came up with a 3-week injury, and now she's injured again.
Could it?
Too good.
Wait a minute. Could it be a groin injury?
It is.
Wait a minute. Think about where that's at. Could it be that time of the month? I don't know. Sorry, guys.
Hey, you went there, not us. It's
Cool,
okay.
man. That's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Well, think about that. Well, you don't have to, but you know.
Well, she's a primetime asset. I think she'd have. They know how to take care of that. There are things that they can give her to take care of that. There's controls they can put in place.
Well, you know, she is the Caitlin is for I don't even know now. One of the coaches or whatever for the All-Stars in 2 weeks. And Ephesians is the other.
Oh, the team captains?
Yeah, that's it. Team captains, yep.
Betty, what is your opinion on Angel Reese? I gotta ask. If you're a WNBA person.
Say it again.
What is your opinion on Angel Reese? Is she a decent basketball player, or is everybody
No, she is
being too
good.
hard on her?
Yeah.
She really is good. She is good. When I was down in Arizona last year, I saw her play. She was like right there. She's good. But I think I don't know. She's like that. She's good, but I don't know. Everybody between her and Caitlin, I think Angel is more.
Her brother's
But
playing deal with the Lakers.
what?
Her brother's playing deal with the Lakers.
Well, that's going to be it for Jeffrey Springs.
I mean, Angel's mom played basketball. I heard.
That's true. I heard that.
She's not my favorite player. Leave it at that.
Okay.
She's not mine either.
And neither is
But
Caitlin Clark.
Oh.
No, she's good. They're all good. When
Yeah.
I went to All Stars last year, when I was covering it, I said hi to Caitlin Clark, and she looked at me as if, you know. And then, but then Asia Wilson, on the other hand,
Yeah.
pretty awesome. She sat and talked, but she,
Yeah.
you know.
She's the
What
ace,
do you think?
right?
What?
She's with the Aces, the Vegas Aces, right?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck they're doing this year.
Yeah.
They're not doing very well themselves.
So as I was saying, Angel has a brother named Julian, and he signed one of those
two-way.
minor contracts, an Exhibit 10 deal.
Julian Reese.
Yes, that's her brother.
Oh. Family of athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just like look at baseball, the Holiday.
Sure.
Matt and Jackson Holiday, and then Jackson's brother is going to be drafted this year.
Nice.
Yeah. And the Bonds, well, they were brother and son, but you know.
Betty, you cover the WNBA. Do you have a favorite team that you watch?
I watch them all.
Watch them all. Okay.
Yeah, but otherwise, secretly, or as everybody might know, Las Vegas Aces are my favorite.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
And Beckingham is. I've been following her with her career forever and a day.
She was a great player Liberty as well.
Liberty's great.
Yep. The defending champions. Love it.
And what about Chicago Sky? What's with that? They should have left Teaspoon on there.
Yeah.
Something transpired.
Hey, you know, Betty, another milestone just passed me this past week.
Yeah. Yes.
12 years they started.
On that. That ball comes out of the glove and it's right up to the throwing position. There's not much of an arm swing at all. You do that to try to deceive the hitter. To give him less than that arm. See the pitch at release point, so maybe you can surprise him.
The Aces are 8-8 this year.
Usually they don't lose this many games at all.
No.
They're usually in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah. They were 3 ties, right? That's it.
Yeah, Minnesota, Phoenix, New York, Atlanta, Seattle are the top 5. And it's who's GS? Is that Golden State?
Yeah, Golden State Valkyries.
Then it's the Aces with Fever, then Washington, Chicago, LA, Dallas, Connecticut. They only have 2 wins, 2-15.
Yeah.
This year.
The Valkyries are the expansion team this year, and they're doing better than some of the other teams.
Now, last year, Phoenix was on bottom of the list.
Yeah.
If memory serves me right.
The potential tying run at third.
They really improved.
3-2 Athletics.
Well, I was gonna say did they get better by trade or just new players coming in?
Some do.
Could be a little of both.
Yeah, I think some do more by trade.
Yeah, because BG's good. I mean, look at how Atlanta is this year, better than last year too.
Yeah,
As of today.
last year they were trash.
Yes, they were.
Because I followed this league from the very beginning,
Yes, you have.
which also goes to show they're getting really old.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited. We're getting one here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It may be a few years, and but and then Philadelphia is right down the road from you, Phil. I mean, Phil, Lou,
Yes.
and then there's Detroit. That's not too far from us either.
Right.
Again, huh? Sorry again, huh?
But I do like the Valkyries. They're excellent. I like the coach and how she seems pretty mellow. She does what she's got to do, and she gets on them.
I'm surprised they're going to try another franchise into pro.
I mean, Golden State has all veteran players, anyways. All but one.
Yes. That's why they're. That's
Go
probably
ahead.
why they're doing so well, because when you figure it, they may be a new expansion team, but their players are not new. I mean, you guys are outside with the Vegas Golden Knights when they first came into the league. They had veteran players, and they knew how to play the game. If you got players like that,
Yeah.
those expansion teams can surprise you. They can do very well. So you're not just looking at like rookie players playing for the first time here,
Agreed.
There was still a one-run ball.
Experience means a lot.
On to the seventh.
Means everything.
We'll get to those in a moment.
Most of the time.
Leads off the seventh inning.
And with these new expansion teams, I wonder if it's going to be the same way where they're going to get mostly all veteran players.
Rhonda stays on. Base.
The rookies. I know they talked.
Yeah.
This is quote from. Well, I can't say that. This is a quote from Kathy Engelbert today when I was on the media thing. I'd like to be able to expand the teams to 15 players. Give more kids, more women, not kids, sorry, more women opportunities.
Right.
Do they have they do an expansion draft too when they bring in new teams?
They did with
So then it'll be where some of the current players can be on new teams when they expand. Okay.
Whatever they decide, whatever the rulings decided. I would wonder who the Cleveland coach would be. Cavaliers have accepted them very, very much so. Gilbert, the owner of the Cavs and Rocket Industries nowadays, really.
Are they going to play in the same stadium as the Cavaliers?
Oh yeah, they're going to play in a Rotten. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they're playing down. Well, in 3 years things can change, but yeah, they're playing in the same place as Cavaliers. Rocket Field.
Sure. I mean, the PWHL is the same thing with the NHL. I think they play in the same arenas.
Kind of hoping that they bring a team down to Florida.
You can have the Cleveland Browns.
Well.
I think Tampa will pass.
Yes.
We already have a football team in town, so.
Yeah.
A halfway decent one and not a lousy one, so.
Well, and then we've been to 2 Super Bowls and won both, so we're 2-0 in the big game. So.
Cleveland, have they been to what, 2 AFC championship games?
Against the Broncos.
They haven't won. The last, they would never been in a Super Bowl, but they were, what were they, in that championship game a month before I was born, and they won a few years ago.
Well, they won the original Cleveland Browns, who are now the.
The original, but they were all the same.
Right.
Baltimore Ravens.
Well, they're both Cleveland Browns. But when those two are competing against each other, I picked the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
98 to get a read.
Okay.
Well, Betty, it must have burned you that their first playoff win in a long time was against the Steelers. What a team to beat. Under Baker Mayfield, who's now here in Tampa. That's our quarterback.
That was quite a surprise that happened. But hey, weird. Like I said before, weirder things have happened.
True.
Yep, like Vanderbilt beating Alabama.
Yep.
I really like Baker Mayfield in Tampa there.
He's done very well since coming here.
Yeah, he has. I agree. He has done very well.
He's matured since coming to Tampa.
Okay. Yeah, because he's gotten older, mature.
Yeah. Okay, so that was
more experience.
But
playing with real players. Sorry, on the same team, I mean.
Well,
it's not.
The funny thing is, like with the Bucks in the past are light on their defense. I think it's kind of switched a little bit the last few years. It's gone offensively now. I know the defense did very well against Patrick Mahomes when Brady was here. We won our Super Bowl. I understand that, and they've always been known for their defense. The Bucks, the Tampa 2 defense that was established by Monty Kiffin and Tony Dungy before Dungy was let go.
Yeah.
The late great Monty Kiffin.
Yep.
Right.
Alex Delvecchio passed away today.
Okay, folks. I'm going to exit off, folks, because I'm going to watch the game, and then I have to report on this.
All right, Betty. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Betty.
Okay. Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Too.
Bye. Bye-bye.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Baker's got some weapons now down here.
All right, can you exit me out?
Oh.
I was trying. I can't find it. I've used Zoom all the time.
It's a top right. Or if it's, I don't know if you're mobile or on a computer, but it's top right for mobile. It just has leave.
Yeah. Why is it not showing up? All right, well, I'll figure it out. You guys have fun.
Okay, we will.
We'll do.
I don't think I have horsepower, so I can't just kick you.
I thought I have that problem.
Buzzer went off the ball too.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what kick is that ball. And not much of an argument put up by Shane.
He was 93. Wow.
Holy moly.
93.
Alex Delvecchio.
Okay.
They announced his passing this afternoon.
Yeah.
93. That's what it is outside in Florida right now.
Is that actual temperature in the shade?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wait, there is no shade.
No, yeah. There is. You just got to, it's hard to find.
Right. Yes, of course.
Well, it's the shade you make your own shade in Florida.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. Get it stabilized. I'll be good to go.
Well, dude, that was very cool for Betty to come on. I know she's commented a lot in the past about having a girl on here to talk. So
yeah,
let her know that she was very nice of her to come on here and talk.
Let her know that
yeah.
I owe Betty a great deal of thanks too, because Betty was the one that discovered me 9 years ago.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, she came on my Facebook page, and so I accepted the request and figured out what it's all about. And she told me about when we first started on the other service. I won't mention the name, of course. You know what it is too. So she asked. So I asked about it, and about the project she did, and she she took me in March of 2016, and I've been happily associated with her and other and something that was for the last 9 years now. And it's all thanks to her. And in 2018, I took over the show, and I owe her a great deal of thanks.
Well, I'm pretty proud of her too for now her getting the opportunity to go and cover the WNBA. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That league is very cool. Professional stuff is cool when you get the opportunity to do that.
Man, that's great news indeed. It's been a difficult time for Shane McClanahan to come back, couple setbacks, and
So the expansion, is that going to happen all next year, or is it going to happen in the next few years?
It's going to be over, of course, in the next 5 years because Toronto's coming in next year. Portland's coming in next year as well, and that's going to be spread out from now until 2030.
Oh wow! Okay.
That's what Betty was saying.
The really scary thing about that?
Oh,
By the time that all is complete, I'll be 60 years old. Yeah. Yep.
well, it's a 3-1 count here on Caballero. The bottom of the 7th.
60.
Yeah, by 2030, I'll be 60 years old. Yeah.
So
I'll be 47.
Lucky you.
39.
I'll be 26 right now. 27 next year.
Oh, you got time, man. You got time.
I think I'll be 30 in 2030.
Yeah. Oh, you're a millennial. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was born in 1999.
The very end of the millennium.
So I'll be the elder statesman here. Oh boy. Yeesh.
Yeah, we are.
Yuck.
Well, Lou, I mean, put it to you this way. I don't know if they're listening or not, but you got to be pretty young compared to Ralph and John, right?
I'm not going to say nothing about that. I'm not saying nothing.
You can say it. They're my partners. You could say it. They're not. It's okay.
Compared to them, yes, I'm the younger. I'm the young one here. But in this group, not.
Yeah, you
I'm
can.
Just glad I'm not the youngest anymore.
Yeah, it was fun being on the baseball show the other day, by the way.
Yeah, it was. Nice having you on. Nice having you on, man.
Yeah, it was. I will say that, you and John and Ralph all have like a lot of knowledge on the game, and it's funny how like I didn't know Ralph was a Mets fan. I know he's from New York.
Oh, well.
Said that.
Yeah.
Mets fan, and so it was quite interesting with the banter back and forth with you two. You're a Yankee fan.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Rays are tied 3-3.
Ah.
There you go. Who are they playing tonight?
Playing the Athletics.
Or whatever you want to call them these days.
Sacramento.
It's still the Athletics, just not open.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have got rid of Olsen, Murphy, Mania. The list goes on and on.
Oh, yeah.
We'd be here all night if I tried to name everybody that
all week. We're all night. We're here all week.
Yeah. With the amount of people they've traded or let go. Yeah. And now it sounds like Luis Severino wants out of.
Oh, great.
He made a comment the other day that he does not like where the A's are playing right now.
You mean standings wise or location wise?
Location. He
I don't blame
basically said that he doesn't like playing at Sutter Health Family Park
Yeah,
because there's too many home runs hit there.
Really?
I mean, you don't see the Rays are playing at a minor league stadium too, and you don't see any of their pitchers complaining about it.
No.
I mean,
But-
you see
Okay.
the opposing teams complaining about where the Rays are playing now, like the Yankees.
Yes.
Neat, I had lost today. Thank you, Toronto.
11-4. Yeah. 12-4. Yeah.
So it looks like, not to change topics, but did y'all see that Marner is headed to Vegas?
Yep.
I was going through the schedule yesterday, and he said the Yankees played the Blue Jays at 3:00. Now it's very unusual to play an afternoon game on a Tuesday.
It was Canada Day.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like, oh yeah, it's Canadian Independence Day, of course. So because it almost happened for me, like a day game on a Tuesday. How weird.
Yeah, because I was looking at that too yesterday, the entire day when I was watching MLB Network before I went to work in the afternoon. I'm like, why are the Blue Jays and Yankees playing at 3:00 on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday.
Then
a Tuesday. Yeah.
Then it took a couple seconds, and it clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, it's probably Canada Day.
Oh, Canada.
You know what's weird is that the Tigers had back-to-back days off.
Because Tuesdays and Fridays are not known for day games.
Unless you're the Cubs on a Friday.
Unless you're the Cubs.
Well, it used to be every game was a day game.
Well, Friday there's going to be a lot of day games because it's July 4th.
July. Come on, that's American.
Like the Rays, they play Minnesota at 4:00 on Friday.
Right.
And this is their second longest road trip of the year coming up. They go Minnesota, Minnesota, Detroit, Boston. 3-city, 9-game trip.
Yeah.
And they got another one like this in, I think, August, like middle or into August, where it's West Coast. Which is Seattle, LA, and I want to say San Francisco.
West Coast trip.
Yeah. And late August.
Right.
So the
and they're only
Go ahead. You finish what you're saying.
No, go ahead. You were saying something about Red Sox and Reds.
Red Sox and Nationals, they go at 11:05 on Friday morning.
The Red Sox?
Red Sox and Nationals.
That's Boston for you, though.
Yeah, that's typical Boston.
It's in DC.
Is it is the marathon's already happened, right? Is that marathon day?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, the Boston Marathon's at April, early second week in April.
Did you say it was in Washington?
Yeah, it's in DC at 11:05.
You know, I tell you, my favorite thing to watch during a Nationals game, is the president's race. I like that, and then I like Atlanta where they do the freeze.
Oh yeah.
And they give the person who's racing the freeze like a 5 to 10 foot head start. And they think they're going to beat the freeze. And then all of a sudden, the freeze comes out of nowhere and just.
Yeah. Passes them up.
Yeah. There's that. And in Milwaukee, you got I think it's the sausage race.
The sausage race.
Well, I know the Rays usually do some kind of mascot race.
Yeah, Raymond, DJ Kitty.
And then either the Rowdies or the Sun or some other mascot that they sometimes Raymond, sometimes Rocky, just depends on who's in there that night.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it installed.
Yeah.
You installed it? Good.
I did. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Air conditioning.
Yes.
Blessed AC. Thank you, God. Now I'm gonna go put some food on.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, guys, Betty just messaged me. She said, "Thank you for having me on." And I said, "Thank you for coming on. You're always welcome to come on here and talk."
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm sorry, Lou. I thought she was a Cleveland Browns fan. My fault. I just didn't count her out.
It's yours.
And she's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. She's the enemy. She's the enemy of the Browns. The enemy.
That's like me. I'm a Buccaneers fan, but I also support the Bengals.
Okay. Joe Burrow.
Like, I'm
Joey B.
I'm a Tigers fan, but I also support the Cardinals.
Yeesh.
Hey, the Tigers are the best team in baseball.
Go figure.
I think the Tigers are going to trade. I think the Tigers are going to trade for Arenado.
I don't. I mean, I'm not. What I mean to say is, I don't want them to. I don't think they. I dance with the ones that brung you, man. The best team in baseball for the first 4 months.
That's your only. I mean, that's the Tigers' only big hole right now is third base.
And I've never been a big fan of a mid-season trade for a rental player.
I haven't either, but I mean, if it benefits both teams, like the Cardinals are eventually going to have to get out from under Arenado because they got younger guys coming up through the minors.
No, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I mean, if they can swing that deal, they're going to do it. But for me, as a Tigers fan, I remember the Price.
I think the only thing that might hold that trade back is if the Cardinals say to the Tigers, "We'll give you Arenado, but you got to take the rest of his contract too."
Yeah.
And you could give us one of your lower level prospects, not a top 5 guy, not a McGonigal, not a Clark. I think those guys would be off limits in a trade.
I don't disagree with you. But for me, I remember when we traded for David Price about 10, 15 years ago now. And I don't know, we went out, we loaded up at the deadline, we got all these guys. We didn't get out of the first round, And for me, it's like,
yeah,
we already
don't remind me of the David Price trade because
Yeah.
y'all remember who you gave to the Rays in that trade?
No, I don't remember, be honest with you, bud.
Willie Adames, who's now a Giant.
Oh, yeah? He's still around?
Yeah, he's on the San Francisco Giants. He signed a long-term. He was the first big signing for Buster Posey as the president of baseball operations for the Giants.
Well, that I relayed that question the other night to John and Ralph, and I asked that question I think we've talked about this before, so sorry that I repeated the question, but do I believe that catchers make the best managers or general managers or managers? Because they really are the quarterbacks of the defense. Like they're the ones who set it up, pitching wise, everything. So I'm curious.
Yeah, and Buster Posey, if he never got concussions,
Right.
he'd still maybe be playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And he would be a first. I'm not gonna say he would be a Hall of Famer.
I think he is all.
Do you think he's first ballot?
Doesn't he have 3 rings?
He's won a. I think he's won 2 or 3 World Series with the Giants.
I think he's won
Yeah,
2
I thought
with the Giants.
Yeah, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, if he gets in, Pujols has got to get in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Unless the Hall of Fame's going to be stingy and say no, neither's going to get in. But then,
Well, they're known for that.
then again, that would be a travesty because look at all the guys they've let in and have taken PEDs.
Yes.
Barry Bonds.
I was just in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think Bonds is in the Hall of Fame.
They put people in the Hall of Fame that have taken steroids. But the one that gets me that they won't put in the Hall of Fame is Pete Rose.
Which
They
is a
won't
shame.
now.
Pete Rose will never go in the Hall of Fame.
Which is a shame.
Not
It
with
is.
the Rose Garden place. He doesn't deserve it.
It's a shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame. But a guy like Michael Irvin who did drugs is in the Hall of Fame in the NFL.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Michael Irvin was good. But I think it has something to do with him taking performance-enhancing substances. And I think there should be a rule in the NFL. If you get suspended from PEDs, you shouldn't be eligible to play in the playoffs.
Right.
Look at MLB. If you get suspended during the regular season for PEDs, you're ineligible to be on the playoff roster. Like Jerickson Profar with the Braves got popped for 80 games.
Well, they're not going to play this year anyway, so.
It's the Braves. So,
well,
Brad and I have talked about it. It's the Braves, and it's Alex Anthopoulos. I call him an evil genius. He has a way of making trades that turn the Braves around. Just look at the year they made the World Series and won the World Series. If they didn't make any of those trades, I don't think they would have made the World Series.
Right. But this year's a far different team.
I mean, yes, but I wouldn't count. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but they have a chance of getting in as a wild card team. I'll say this. Brad and I were talking about this before our show earlier. That I think the Braves have a better chance of getting a wild card spot than the Marlins, even though the Marlins have won 7 in a row.
That'll buy.
Even though the Marlins have won 7 in a row. The Marlins going into today are 8 games out of the last wild card spot.
Yeah.
If you were going to tell me the Marlins were going to go on a 7-game winning streak
and still be 7 games out of the wild card,
I would have said, "Where's your $5? Where's your $100?" Because I would have said that's never going to happen. Half their team's minor leaguers.
Well, and the Phillies now are the best team in the East.
Well, they're right now. But the Mets, I think, are a game behind them.
2
games. And neither of them are playing tonight because both their games got rained out.
Yep.
The Marlins are on an 8-game winning streak right now.
Oh, so did they win today?
They won 2-0 over the Twins. They
Nice.
are 9. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. 9-1.
Oh, the battle of mid teams.
And right now they are tied with the Braves at 38-45.
So there's 7.5 back in the wild card.
Let me see. They are. Yes, they are 7.5
Oh,
back.
come on.
The final
As
wild
much
card.
as I want the Marlins to tank and trade Alcantara, come on, Miami, just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
Just for the heck of it, make the playoffs.
Right.
Well,
So you can give your fans some false hope that you're actually going to do something.
They have a lot of people in front of them.
Oh, I know. We were talking about it earlier.
Cardinals.
They've got the Braves in front of them, the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, the Reds, the Giants,
and the Padres.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, I could see the Padres kind of.
Wow, they're 7.5 back. I picked them to win the division this year. I got to pick it up.
I don't know who I picked to win that division.
Which division?
I think I picked Atlanta.
The West?
No, the East.
The East?
West, I picked
the Dodgers. Or you picked the Diamondbacks.
I picked the Diamondbacks. Oh, boy.
That's okay.
Central, I picked the Reds.
They're only 5.5 out. That's not too bad.
They can make it up, and they're going to be getting Hunter Green back soon. And Chase Burns, even though he didn't make it out of the first inning last, and I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, the Brewers.
And people want. Here's the problem: is people want to say that he was tipping his pitches. The Red Sox probably had film on him from his first start when he struck out 8. When he struck out 8 in his major league debut against the Yankees.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And going into his third start, he's going to have to make some adjustments. Because
let me ask you this question, guys. Who do you think has the highest run differential in the majors right now?
The Mets.
The Mets. That is incorrect. They're plus 39, but that's incorrect.
The Rays?
The Rays are plus 69, but no.
Nice number.
Yeah.
I'm here all week, folks.
Cubs?
The Cubs are at 104, which is one behind who's leading. So the leader is 105.
The Brewers?
The Brewers are plus 56.
Oh.
Tigers?
Don't tell me it's the Dodgers.
Plus 99 is the Tigers. The Dodgers are plus 90. Nope.
AL or NL?
AL. It's an American League team.
Yankees?
The Yankees. 105.
What?
Yep.
Undifferential. Yep.
I thought
105.
They make way too many errors, and their fans want to talk about Anthony Volpe and that he's a bust.
And do you want to guess who has the worst run differential?
The Rockies.
There you go.
Rockies.
Are you ready?
That's a dead giveaway.
Negative 221.
You suck.
Negative 221. So
you know what? The thing with the Rockies is I feel like since they fired Bud Black, they've actually played a lot better, even though they're still in last place with their interim manager, Warren Schaefer, who did y'all see the other day where he had a epic meltdown in like the third inning? And he got kicked out, ejected from the game, and he was arguing with the whole plate umpire. And he was arguing the strike zone, and he basically told the whole plate umpire, because the umpire was calling strikes that were like down in the dirt. And he's like, he basically made the hand gesture to the home plate umpire, like, it's this low.
That's
It's
just
like,
my app, right?
like the strike zone, I swear, it gets smaller and smaller every game from every umpire.
I can't wait for robot umps.
Is this okay? I was gonna say I was on John Boy Media. I'm trying to find the video. I'm sure it's gonna be on here. He always does all those meltdowns.
Warren, I think it's Warren Schaefer is the interim manager's name for the Rockies.
Yes. But still, we're now in July 1st, and he still get to win 20 games this season. That is sad.
Yeah, there you go, right there. Yep, he was ejected. Yeah, he did lose his. Wow, he lost his. You know what? He did lose his shit. I'm surprised he hasn't made John Boy Media yet, because usually he's on top of a lot of meltdowns. That's interesting. I'll have to watch it. Yeah,
he was not a happy camper.
Well, we all know that probably next year or the year after, you're going to have the automated balls and strikes.
These managers have to get their hoopla in before we have the automated strike zone.
Yeah.
Gotta get it in one last time while you can, man.
Robots.
Well, you could still challenge. You get 2 challenges per game. So
what I think is that's gonna be key, especially if it's later in the game and you're tied or behind by a run.
Yeah.
And the pitch is like this close to being either a ball or strike. And you know what it's gonna do is these veteran pitchers that have been
working the strike zone,
slicing and dicing the strike zone, or like Max Scherzer, who always does the corners. You won't be able to do that anymore because there's not going to be a home plate umpire to call balls and strikes.
There will be. There's still one in the minors. It's just they sit behind home plate and they'll call strike or ball. Now, the hitter, catcher, or pitcher can challenge those. So those are the only 3 that can challenge the at least in the minor leagues. I don't know what it's going to be like in the majors, but in the minors, you can. It's the pitcher, catcher, or the hitter that can challenge the call of ball and strike.
Yeah.
And
I think it'll be better. I don't think you'll have too many. Especially you'll have all the spring training to get it dialed in, and that first week might be rough.
I would have liked to see it be implemented in the Astros Rays game a couple weeks ago when Taylor Walls lost his.
Yep, I remember that.
He tapped his helmet and the umpire thought he was showing him up.
I think
these
I was
umpires
on my way home from something, and I was just going on the radio, and I'm like, Taylor Walls. I'm like, he never loses it at all.
No, he doesn't. If I had to say between him and like Jose Siri, those are the 2 most calm guys in baseball.
Siri's hurt, right?
Yeah, Siri is still hurt for the Mets.
I just think that once you get 2, 3, 4 bad calls, it just makes the game go.
No, and then these umpires, I feel like they instigate.
Yes.
Like these guys are walking away, going back to the dugout, and you leave home plate, or they're in the dugout, and the first base umpire's chirping at the dugout, trying to draw a reaction from the guy that was just hitting or somebody else.
And what bothers me is when they're standing on the step of the dugout and they're chirping the end. Like, who cares? Turn around, ignore it, and do your job.
Or like there was a game I was watching a couple weeks ago where a guy got thrown out and he was leaving the batter's box and he was talking to himself about the at bat, and the umpire thought the batter said something to him, and he had a really quick trigger finger. Yeah, he literally tossed him out, and the batter wasn't even saying anything to him. He was walking back to the dugout minding his own business. And the one that gets me is when these guys get ejected for taking your helmet off, throwing it down, tossing it down, or when they fling the bat. Like, they're just showing emotion. Let them be.
Yeah.
As long as it's not hurting anybody or hurting you.
Oh, 100% agree. I think that there are teams the umps are far too powerful.
Or it's like, who was it? Bradley, you're a Red Sox fan. Wasn't it Walker Buehler that got thrown out of a game?
Yep.
Because an umpire was instigating.
Yes.
Well, that was the one where Walker Buehler was walking back towards. He was on the mound, and the umpire said, "Hey, stop." He stopped, and the umpire kept walking towards him. He didn't move, and he goes, "What are you coming out here to talk to me for?" And they got into it, and that's when he threw him out of the game. But another one that was bad was Jazz Chisholm for the Yankees. The guy gets a bad call at the plate. He goes out to the outfield, and he's standing there, and he's out there with his glove, and the umpire stares at him, and he goes, "What are you looking at me for?" And
no, third base. I think it was third base.
He goes, "You're out of here." He's like, "What are you throwing me out for? I wasn't even talking to you."
I remember that. It was against the Rays.
Yeah, correct.
He was arguing because the previous inning, he thought he had a home run, which it was a home run, but the third base umpire called it foul. And they upheld it after crew chief review. I'm like, that was an obvious home run. And you're looking for an issue by calling it foul and then reviewing it and still saying it's foul. Or this new rule where you can't block the base. And there's still guys doing it, and they get warned. Like the second base umpire, third base umpire is like, "Look, you can't block the base." And these guys are like, "How are we supposed to cover the base now?" You can blame that on Chase. Who was it that?
Chase Utley.
You can blame that on Chase Utley for cleaning Manny Machado. That's why you can't. Or you could say you could blame it on the guy that ran over Buster Posey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you can't block home plate like you used to be able to.
But there's still, and that's another rule that they need to really, I want to say, clarify more. Because I still see catchers stand in front of the plate and the ball's all the way almost down the third baseline.
Right.
Like in the rule, it says, as long as you have the ball in your possession, you can block home plate. Well, these catchers that stand there and the ball's nowhere near them.
Right.
And they get run over, and then the runner gets called out. You're supposed to leave the runner a lane.
Mm-hmm.
And the runner has no lane if the catcher's standing right on the third baseline or right on top of home plate. So how does that rule work? And then these throwovers, I think they need to up it you get 3 disengagements per at bat.
I wouldn't mind that.
And the other one I would want to change is the mound visits. 5, that's not enough. I think you should have 6 or 7 per game. And then you get an extra one if you go into extra innings.
Well, I think they're trying to speed the game up. So as far as mound visits go, you're delaying the game by doing that. And which I understand, you're out there changing pitchers, you're out there trying to talk to your guy, whatever it might be. But I mean, I agree with the rule with blocking the plate or whatever. You got to, I mean, they're trying to keep the players on the field more than they are off. And again, back in the day, you could run over the catcher. Well, Pete Rose,
Johnny Bench.
Pete Rose did in an All-Star game. So, I mean, he ran over the catcher in an All-Star game. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, so yeah, that's
Or look at these guys that showboat after a home run, and then the next at bat, they get one square in the middle of the back or the ribs or the side, and these managers want to come out and say, "Oh, that was intentional." If you don't want your guy getting hit, tell him not to showboat after a home run.
No.
Who was the one? Wasn't it Jose Bautista for the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yep, the bat flip.
The biggest instigator for that.
Yep. Well, and then there was an incident the other day in the Guardians, last weekend in the Guardians game, where Jose Ramirez got hit in the side and like his hip, and then whoever they were playing, the Guardians pitcher hit somebody on the other team, and they warned both benches when these teams don't really play each other that much. And then both managers came out and said after the game that it's part of the game.
Well, that was the whole argument with the Dodgers and the Padres too.
Oh yeah, hitting Ohtani.
Dave Roberts goes, "It's part of the game."
Get your popcorn out. They play each other 2 more times.
6 games. 3 in LA, 3 in San Diego. Mark the calendar.
Well, and then maybe you could tack on the playoffs.
Yeah, it's mid-August that they play against each other. It's within like a week period of each other. They play 3 in LA, then they play the next week. They're 3 in
San Diego.
3 in San Diego. So yeah, that's gonna be most watched TV.
What happened to Lou?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
There he is.
There he is.
Lost him for a minute or two. There he is. He's back.
For some reason, I got muted, so I just thought I'd just come out and come back in again. So I don't know what happened.
Or you got like who's somebody that likes to pimp home runs now? Oh, Ronald Acuna.
Yes.
Of the
Braves. Yeah, or Bryce Harper. And Phillies fans want to whine. Show the replay. I'm watching the Rays game, and they just called Caballero tried to steal second, and they just called him out, and it was reviewed, and call stood. I don't mind the challenge system in baseball, but I feel like you should get 2 challenges like they do with the NFL.
Yeah,
I think you should get 2 challenges. One in the first half, one in the second half of the game.
Yeah, one in like the first 5 innings, and then one toward the end, like the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. And then if it goes extra innings, you get another one.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? They need to go away with the ghost runner.
I hate the ghost runner.
You should have to earn that run in the 10th, 11th inning.
Yeah, if they want to have the ghost runner and they want to, if they don't have those super long,
or you know what? If you get to like the 12th inning in the regular season, that's when you should start doing the ghost runner.
I agree.
Because that's better than doing it the entire, and it should have been gone after COVID was over. I'm sorry. I don't like Rob Manfred.
A lot of people don't.
That's true. They don't. I know I don't, but still.
I have reasons, and one of them's the way he handled the entire scandal with the Astros.
Well, yeah.
The trash can stealing signs.
Yeah.
Well, who would you consider worse, but Bettman or Manfred?
I don't have a problem with Bettman.
Yeah, but that would take the NHL, so fuck him.
Well, they're going to expand to 84 games. What do you guys think
That's what I
about that?
heard.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
they're going away with the LTIR is going to be no more.
Maybe. That's the stuff they're talking about for the new CBA. Nothing has been finalized yet.
They need to go away with LTIR because look at Vegas, what they did the last 2 years before this year.
Yeah.
How does Mark Stone, Jack Eichel, Shea Theodore, how do they magically get injured? And then, oh, the playoffs are here. Oh, they're magically healed.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of that, that's where
Mitchie Marner went.
Mitchie Marner ended up. Yep, ended up in Vegas. That's
And I was watching the free
Yeah, you
agency
did.
special on NHL Network earlier, and they were showing Jack Eichel's going to be a unrestricted free agent next year.
Ooh.
Okay.
So they were talking about, did Marner talk to him before getting traded and signing that extension with Vegas? Because Eichel, I mean, I know it's way too far out, but I'm going to make a prediction.
Yes.
Eichel's going to leave. I think Eichel leaves Vegas and goes somewhere else. Maybe Toronto?
Okay.
He left Buffalo because they wouldn't give him the surgery that he wanted to have.
Right.
I love
Well, and that's Buffalo for you.
Yes.
They're the dumpster fire of the NHL. I think the Blackhawks are going to be better this year.
You can't do much worse.
I think the Blackhawks are going to be better. I think San Jose is going to be better.
Mm-hmm. How about the Rangers?
Corey Perry signed with the Kings.
Yep, if they go to the Stanley Cup, write them off.
How about the Rangers?
They can't get it right. The Kings make it to the Stanley Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
The Corey Perry
experiment.
The Corey Perry experiment is back in the Western Conference.
It's in LA.
And there was some awful contracts given out on the first day of free agency.
Yes, of course.
Christian Fisher signed with I think it was the Kraken for 2 years for $5.5 million.
2.5 million a year.
5.2 by 5.4.
Oh, I got you. So 10. Okay, so we got 10 overall. Okay.
And they were saying the reason he got that is because of the center market. Ehlers is the biggest free agent still left. And they said he's gonna take his time. Besser, I thought Brock Besser was gonna end up with the Lightning. Brock Besser ended up re-signing with Vancouver.
Did you see Tatum going to play here in Winnipeg?
And then Keandre Miller got traded to Carolina and signed an extension with Carolina.
Well, I mean, and the Florida Panthers brought back a bunch of people, including
I think the NHL is going to investigate them re-signing Marchand.
For what?
Yeah, I think they would too.
For tampering.
How?
I was gonna say I don't know how they would prove that,
because the salary cap hadn't gone up yet before they put in the extension.
Yeah.
Sam coming back in Detroit.
Well,
You see, he's gonna go
with
play
Gary
out
Bettman
here.
there, nothing's going to happen.
Gary Bettman's an idiot.
Sam, he's gonna finish out his
Yeah,
career.
And
he's
of
been for
course,
30
Florida
years, I
Panthers
know.
fans are like, "Oh, the dynasty's still on."
I'll give him a dynasty.
You've only won 2 cups in a row. I don't think you're gonna win 3. I think Edmonton's gonna come back next year and win the cup, or somebody else, maybe Detroit,
Maybe it's right.
because
What about
Detroit did trade. I think the Red Wings did trade for a goalie.
Yeah, we signed Gibson last week.
Alec, what's your thought on the Rangers?
I'm not a New York Rangers fan.
Enough said.
I'm a Tampa Bay Lightning fan.
I know.
And I also support the Columbus Blue Jackets, which they've made some head scratching moves on the first day of free agency.
Feel bad for them, losing Johnny Hockey. That was sad.
Yes.
And I mean, they were this close. If there was one more game, I think they would have snuck into the playoffs.
Well,
I think so too.
They did knock off the Lightning in round 1 a couple years ago. So,
I'm still.
The
It
sweep
still makes me sick to my stomach, even though I support the Blue Jackets.
The sweep.
I just wish that year they would have made the finals.
Yeah, true.
Because Columbus needs something other than Ohio State winning national championships in football.
Well, the only pro championship is the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Well, the Indians won one along. Well, it's the Guardians now, but the Indians haven't won one in a long time either. So
48, 46,
yeah.
48.
The Cleveland, I call them the Cleveland nobodies now.
When was the last time they won a championship?
54. 48.
4? Thank you, Lou.
48.
Does this name ring a bell to anybody? Mike Golick Sr. and Mike Golick Jr.
Yeah.
Their show is now on FanDuel Sports Network.
Oh dear.
I missed the Golick. I miss them being on ESPN.
Yeah, I do too.
Mike and Mike was a staple growing up.
Oh yes, it was. I mean, I don't mind what they have now on ESPN at 8:00 every morning.
First mistake.
Get up with Greeny.
Worst mistake. That's funny.
Or is it get bent? I forget.
It's Get Up with Golick.
Right.
And they have sometimes they have NFL guys on there. Sometimes they have NBA.
Yes.
What are you looking at, Brad?
I was looking to see who had the longest World Series shot. It is the Guardians. 76 years since they've won the World Series. So they own the longest.
They were in it a few years ago against the Cubs, and I think if they didn't go into that rain delay, they had it wrapped up.
It was a good final game, too.
Yeah, of course.
The Hiccups are here.
So they're the longest. They're the longest World Series drought out of all of them.
Oh. So the name I don't recognize. He only made the Hall finally.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Okay. Who has the longest active Stanley Cup drought?
The Oilers.
No.
Islanders.
No.
Maple Leafs.
There you go.
Oh
Yeah,
he's
that was
57
my
season.
next. That well, you know why they get in the playoffs every year and then they choke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look, they have a video of it on YouTube. The Maple Leafs from 2021 to 2025 of every year that they've got to the playoffs and they choke.
Well, just watch U-Tree.
Yeah.
That he needs to update that video.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can watch U-Tree and anything about the Leafs. He's
Or Steve Dangle.
Steve's the biggest.
No, those
Steve's the
two.
biggest Maple Leafs fan that I know of.
He
lives or
eats,
dies.
sleeps, and lives Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I was gonna say he lives or dies with Toronto.
That's like there was this this person I used to watch on TikTok that would do post game recaps for the Islanders every day on TikTok, and I mean he'd get a lot of comments on his videos, and he did it every day, and this was when the Islanders weren't very good.
Yeah.
Who's second for longest Stanley Cup drought?
Let me see. Let me see if it gives me a list.
Yeah, just give us a list, and we.
I would say the Islanders have to be up there.
The Blackhawks.
No.
No, they won. They won in early 2000s.
In the early 2010s.
Islanders. I would imagine Edmonton's up there.
Yeah, because Edmonton won their last cup in 91.
So Toronto is one. There's a tie for second. Two teams at 53 years.
Two teams at 53 years.
Islanders?
No.
So that would have been. Can I have the years? What were the last years they won the cup?
The last year they won the cup. 1975 is one of them. The other one is.
They're not the Friars?
The Flyers are on here, Lou. That's number 4. 49 years since the Flyers have won a cup.
Yeah.
There's
53,
2 at 53.
50, 75, and 76.
Something like that. Yeah.
Montreal Canadiens?
No, Canadians won in 93.
Yep.
Eastern Conference or Western Conference?
One team in the East, one team in the West.
Oilers and Islanders?
No. Oilers won in 90. The Oilers won in 90, and the Islanders won in the 80s. So it's 84, 83.
Bruins?
Nope.
No, Bruins won in 2013.
Yeah, I say the Bruins won a cup a few years ago.
Atlanta. No, I was gonna say Atlanta Thrashers, but they don't exist anymore.
Nope.
Well, for now they don't.
They could be coming back.
They could be coming back.
They could be. Give us the first letter.
If I give you the first letter, you're gonna get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so one Eastern Conference, one Western Conference.
I'll give you this. One team's on the East Coast, one team's on the West Coast of Canada. I'll give you that much. West Coast.
Ottawa?
Nope, Ottawa's on the East Coast.
Vancouver's never won the cup.
That's them. Vancouver is 53 years.
But they've never won the cup.
They never won.
Yeah.
So that's one. Well, now we need
the East Coast team. We have
not Montreal, not Ottawa.
No,
a Canadian team.
Not a Canadian team.
Okay.
No.
Buffalo?
There you go.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Sabres.
And Buffalo's never won it.
Never won.
That explains why they're tied for second, because they both came in 65 or 76.
Yep.
That's what it is. They expanded that's what threw me off, is I wasn't thinking of expansion teams.
So
And so,
yeah, here's the list, guys. You got Toronto with 58. Then it's Calgary, Buffalo and Vancouver at 55. They've never won a cup. Flyers at 50. They have won. Their last one was in 1975, and they won the cup in 75. The Coyotes, which they've never been to I don't think they've ever even been to the finals.
I don't think they've ever been to the conference finals.
The Islanders, their last cup was in 83. Calgary, 89. Oilers, 90. Sharks, Senators have never won a cup. Canadians, 93. Rangers, 94. The Predators have never. I think the Predators have been to the Stanley Cup Finals. They didn't win it though.
They have. I think it was against Pittsburgh.
Correct.
Mm.
Stars are in their last cup was in 1999. Devils. Yeah, I mean it goes down the list of how many years it's been since they. I mean they have Utah on here, which Utah just joined the league.
Yeah.
How do you put them on here when they just?
Well, no, because maybe from when they were in Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah, technically they're the Arizona Coyotes who were the Winnipeg Jets.
Right. Correct.
Right.
Correct. And where do the Jets fall on this?
You're right. It was.
Jets are. They're number 5th. They're tied for 14th. So they're on here 26 years.
Speaking of Winnipeg, did you see Taves is signed a 1-year deal to play in Winnipeg this year?
I saw that.
Do they re-sign Nikolai Ehlers though?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
His agents came out and said that he's gonna wait.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have it, if you're not happy with the deal day one, I'd run the clock out on that.
I was gonna say before we get off here, I went and saw the F1 movie last night. Gotta say, pretty good.
How was it?
Gotta say, pretty good. I wasn't going in expecting a lot out of it, but when you get to see all the top drivers, Max and Hamilton, and all those guys, the only thing that really upset me with the whole thing was they didn't show Monaco. They didn't show Monaco.
Yeah.
So, but
Monaco wouldn't be a good racetrack for a movie.
Yeah, they did the final 9 of they end in Abu Dhabi. That was the last race that was in the movie. I think it's the last. That's the last race I think on the calendar in F1. I think is in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it sounds right. Yep.
But it was pretty. I thought it was a good movie. They used the actual drivers, like I said, Verstappen and Hamilton and guys like that were all in it. I mean, it was good. I didn't go in expecting a lot out of it, but I thought it was pretty good. I would recommend it if you have the time to go see it in the movie theater because it's worth going to see it. I'm an AMC Stubs member, so I went and saw it in IMAX. That was the best part because of the noise and how it moves, and so.
Yeah, I wish I could go, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do IMAX. Yeah. I might go see it this weekend.
Even in normal, you're still going to enjoy the movie. I mean, it's 2.5 hours, but it's still worth going to see. I mean, to me, it's worth going to see. So I'm off to go see Megan 2.0 tomorrow night. So.
Oh, fun.
All right, guys. You guys want to call it a show with that? Lou, do you want to talk about that before we get off?
Right. Yes, there will be a show this week on Saturday. The Sports Show, Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, our post-4th of July special. We'll cover, of course, more of the NBA. The WNBA Commissioner's Cup, free agent frenzy in the NHL NBA. I didn't get a chance to the SBs last week for some reason. I was so involved with the draft and things. We'll cover that this week. The NFL moves Gold Cup soccer as we're in the final stages now. The semifinals tomorrow. And I believe that's the final on Sunday, so we keep an eye on that. Any others that breaks in. Also, our most look at the standings and schedule. The Feel Good Star of the Week, the Biggest Night of the Week, Sports Trivia, New Sports History, and of course, your thoughts and comments are always welcome. Remember, grab your 468 Eastern Time. Numbers 512-543-4662, and all, of course, are welcome.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, we will be back next week on our normal date. We'll have Nicole Felice on, the LPGA Tour player, to interview her next week. She'll be on here with us, so we'll be on here. Before I go, I want to thank the men and women of our armed services and our first responders, and happy 4th of July to everyone out there that celebrates the 4th. Happy Canada Day to everybody that celebrated it today. We are sponsored by biotropiclabs.com, and we are part of NGSE Sports. I am the sports sir, Bradley Walker. This has been the Walker Report. Until next Thursday. Peace.
Top shelf 103. Impossible.